Hello everyone, Joker Plays here, and this video has everything to do with the new tools that are in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. What, you may ask, do you need to do to get these new tools? Well, I'm going to show you in this video, and it's all going to start with the new Legendary Forge. And as you can see, the Forge is going to take some Rift Crystals, which is a new item, along with iron bars, cut ruby, and rift shards. Now, you should already have the majority of these items stored away. If you got them, great, but what's new is definitely those rift crystals, and yeah, there's only one way to get them, okay? You're going to have to go and defeat some stormed enemies, and yeah, that's not easy. But luckily, as you could tell, I have already gone into the storm, and I have defeated all the enemies, including the new Storm King. That's how I got the Shatterhorn Fragment, as well as the new Cyclone Pickaxe. So I have all these materials simply by defeating all of those challenges. And as you can tell, here are the new Rift Crystals. These are going to be what is needed in order to build that Legendary Forge. So since we got them, let's go ahead and build the Forge. But I'm not doing it here. I'm doing it in my workshop. Alright, I am now back in my workshop. This is where I have all of my benches in my main base. This is what I use to craft all the materials. So what better place than to put down my Legendary Forge, but in my main base. And here we go. And there it is. Now the Legendary Forge is simply used to upgrade tools. So in order to do that, we need to first build some tools, and to do that, we're going to go back to our regular crafting bench. Alright, now that our Legendary Forge is in place, the next step is to go ahead and craft a tool that we want to use with it. In this particular case, we are going to start with a sword, and as you can tell, they are all subdued because you get to build your sword exactly the way you want it. You may want to build it for looks, you may want to build it for performance, but either way, you have that choice. So we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a sword, and to start the process, we're going to figure out what type of blade we want on it. And as you can see, if we toggle between the two different or multiple different resources here, we can make the blade just about out of any material that we have available, and each having different attributes to make up that blade. So in other words, if we were to build a blade out of glass, it has minimal damage and the durability is very, very weak. But if we were to take that same sword and make it out of claws, we now have the same amount of damage, but the durability does increase. There is no change in knockback or speed. If we built it out of sand claws, you can see we got some changes in durability and speed. And as we go through other materials, we can look at amber. Amber is an epic rarity type of material with essentially strong damage, strong durability. And if we compared that against amber, we can see that durability and speed will change between the two, but also the color. So if you want a yellowish sword, that's a great choice. If you want a ruby type sword or red, you have another good choice. You have the option to go emerald. So epic rarity will basically start with a damage factor of 9, and then you can determine what attributes you would like to put in place. So amber is going to naturally start with more durability over ruby, but ruby is going to be a faster yielding sword, okay, because it's going to have additional speed. So if we want to build one out of ruby, we can. So let's start with that as an example. And then if we go to the hilt, which is going to be the handle portion of the sword, we have the option to now add different materials. So if we were to make the hilt out of iron, you're going to see that the durability does increase some more, right, over the base material. And then if we put it out of copper, you're going to see durability goes down a little bit, but the speed will go back up, so we can increase our speed that way. If we build it out of gold, it is not doing anything, and you can see other resources such as your various woods. You can see the attributes change for that. So for us, we're going to go ahead and build it just a little bit more durable. So we're going to make it out of steel or iron bar there. And from here, this is what our sword's going to look like. And so we're going to go ahead and craft it. And now we have our new sword in place. So look at this thing. It is pretty slick looking. But we're not done yet. Once you have your sword, the next thing you're going to want to do is head over to the Rune Forge. This is when you're going to notice what type of rune slots you have available based on the design that you made. So in terms of the ruby sword, I have 2 rune slots available. Okay, if I would have made like the marble sword, for example, only has 1 slot available to add a rune to it. Okay, so that's something that you're also going to want to pay attention to when you build your sword. So if we go back here, and you can see that the different materials there on your right will yield different runes. So if we made it out of the granite, we're not going to have any rune slots available. Some of your better materials are going to have 2 slots, and so on and so forth. So if we made it out of the Shatterhorn, we have 3 slots available, but one of them is automatically taken up by the Sapping level 4 rune. So that's going to be automatically loaded. So we get the Shatterhorn sword capability by defeating the Storm King. That's how I have that in my inventory. If you build it at a Sapphire, the advantage to Sapphire is the fact that you get 3 rune slots available to add to your sword as well. So just keep that in mind, that the materials not only affect the strength, durability, and various attributes, but it also affects the number of runes that you can add onto your tool as well. So let's go ahead and go back. So now I'm going to take my sword that we just made. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go ahead and roll for the various runes that I want to put in place. So zapping, this is one of the new runes. This is actually kind of neat. As you defeat an enemy, it's going to trigger a bolt of chain lightning that's going to zap 2 additional foes around you. Okay, so this is something neat. I'm going to go ahead and try this out. I'm going to go ahead and add that rune onto this sword. And then from here, I definitely want to have some kind of damage rune onto it. I'm going to try and spin it to go for damage level 3. Luck is also a good one for resources being dropped as well, especially when you're trying to increase the level of resources you're getting from the new enemies. So that's something to consider. But I'm going to go ahead and roll for damage level 3. We already have a good strong durability because we did add the iron bar to the hilt. So I don't need to add durability, but it's something to consider as well. So let's go ahead and re-roll. The goal is to try and get that level 3 damage. Destruction, obviously one of the best ones to use for a pickaxe. And here we go, level 3. We're going to go ahead and add that. And so now we have our 2 runes in place on this sword. Now, we're not done yet, because we have that legendary forge in place. Now with the legendary forge, we're going to go over here, click on our sword, and what we're going to do is you can see that if we add the rift crystals, we will be able to add more damage, more speed, more durability to this particular sword. And that's going to be the next thing we do. So here we are, we have our rift crystals. And now the only thing left to do is go ahead and select our new sword. And yeah, it's going to take 3 rift crystals, but it's going to make it a higher rarity, but at the same time give it more damage, more durability. So we're going to go ahead and select it, apply. And we now have a sword that is considered rifted. So if you look at it, if you look at the attributes, the bar there, as I zoom in, you're going to notice that it is down low. Okay, the reason it is down low is not because it has no damage left. What's going to happen with this particular sword now is as you use it, it is going to continue to get stronger and stronger, at the point where when it reaches the very top, it's going to become the most powerful sword you can see in using to defeat a lot of enemies. And then that's when the durability will begin to go down as well. So it's essentially giving you double the durability as it builds up as you defeat enemies. And then once it reaches a very top point, you have a very strong sword, and then it begins to lose its durability along the way down. So adding this additional legendary rifted sword capacity to this tool will make it that much stronger and last that much longer as well. So that's definitely the advantage to using this legendary forge. And that's going to apply to all the different tools. I really hope this helps. Quite frankly, this sword is ginormous. I think it's technically bigger than I am. I'm surprised I don't fall forward. Maybe that's why I'm kind of leaning now. But yeah, it definitely looks cool. I like it. And yeah, so this is going to apply to all of your tools that you have in your current inventory. So if you go down and you look, you're going to see that your existing tools definitely look different. So these were all my tools that I had built previously. And when I had logged in, they already look completely different, to include the crossbow. So yeah, this is my new sword. I'm looking forward to using it and seeing where this takes me. So I hope this tutorial helped you in learning how to build the new tools. Like I said, it's going to start with this legendary forge to get them to this new capacity. But you can already build these new tools at your crafting bench by going into the menu, selecting the type of tool you want to build and the resources that you want to build it out of. So hopefully this makes a lot of sense, and you're ready to rock and roll in the new LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. If you have found this tutorial to be helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you have not done so already. And YouTube also thinks that you're going to enjoy the video you see on your screen, so if you have not done so already and have the time to do so, please feel free to click on that video and watch that as well. It really helps me. And until next time, everyone, don't forget to keep gaming in your crosshairs.